Welcome everyone. We're ready now to begin the final case in Travel in Time. Time's up. Well, Matthew, we tried our best to undo the damage that Aman did to the timeline. We stopped the Egyptian trade company from taking over the trade routes in the 18th century. We helped China hold their own against an early and potentially devastating Mongol invasion in medieval Asia. But none of it has been enough, and seeing Aman falling dead at Ogadai Khan's hands was brutal. But even with Aman dead, the timeline is still out of whack. Orlando says all our efforts were like putting an adhesive bandage on a gunshot wound. He also says the only way our original timeline will be preserved is to make it so that Aman never changed anything at all. Which means catching him before he ever sabotaged our time machine. You mean we'd have to go back to the day Caesar got murdered? That's when Aman sabotaged our time machine. And when Nebet infiltrated our team, pretending to be a poor Egyptian slave. Yes, Nebet, or rather Nefertiti, princess of the Ptolemy dynasty. She traveled to 47 BCE from 2029 to weasel her way into our time machine and into our team. We trusted her and cared about her, but she worked with Aman all along to stop us from returning to 2029. That traitor! And so Orlando's plan is to go back to 47 BCE and arrest Aman and Nebet before they can do any of this. Am I getting it right? Still, I hate to play devil's advocate here, but what if we run into our former selves? A version of us is already investigating Caesar's murder that very day. I'm well aware of the dangers of causing a time paradox by running into our former selves. But we must take the risk. We'll also disguise ourselves as Cleopatra's guards. That way nobody will recognize us. That said, talk to as few people as possible and be fast as possible. We must locate Aman and Nebet, grab them and go. We can only hope that with those two behind bars, the time agency will exist again in our present, and no Ptolemies will arrest us when we return. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. What could go wrong? Except everything. We have no choice. This is our only chance. Time jump to 47 BCE in 5, 4. Well, Matthew, here we are. The day Pamiu killed Caesar. Your first investigation with time. Man, I'll admit, I'm super nervous. Zara, have you got your guard uniform together? You know it, Kai. I'm ready to go catch some time criminals and go home. We've never returned to the same investigation twice, and even though it's potentially dangerous, as long as Matthew is on board, we'll be fine. All our hopes are pinned on you. Just remember, we cannot interfere with the investigation into Caesar's murder. Yep, our mission is short and simple. Find Nebet and Aman, arrest them, and bring them back with us to 2029. Let's start looking for them in Cleopatra's garden, Matthew. Here we go. The final case. my God, Matthew, that body, it's Nebbit. It looks like someone tore her heart out. I can't believe we came here to arrest Nebbit and now she's dead. Who could have done this? And more importantly, what does her death mean for our timeline? This thing just keeps on giving. I agree, Matthew. We need to figure out who killed her and why. Only then can we be sure her death will not impact the timeline in any way. We'll still keep an eye out for Amon, but we need to start this investigation. Let's have a look at what you picked up. That rope you found looks like the same kind used to bind her wrists and ankles. There's something on the rope. We better get a sample. You also found a gold ankle cuff. There seems to be some kind of engraving on it. I'll grab your dusting kit so we can see what it says. I'm not sure what Nebbit's death will mean for us in our timeline, Matthew, but the only way we'll find out is to solve her murder. I need to get started. Sit tight, everybody. Pamu. That gold ankle cuff has Pamu's name on it, Matthew. Oh no, that's not good. Pamu is the rogue time traveler who disguised himself as an Egyptian guard and killed Caesar. Having to talk to him about Nebbit's murder puts us in danger of stumbling into our old selves. We're going to have to be extra careful. Good point, Matthew. This time at least we can tell Pamu we're also time travelers. Although to gain his trust, we better pretend to be rogue, like him. We found a piece of your jewelry near the Queen's crocodile pond, next to the body of a murdered slave girl named Nebbit. Nebbit was murdered? Man, Cleopatra's not going to be pleased. Let's cut to the chase. We know Nebbit was a time traveler, and we know you're one too. What? You too? I only found out about Nebbit the other day, because I caught her using a smartphone. Dude, I hope you're not from time. No, don't worry, we're not from time. We're just having a little adventure. Look, Nebbit was our friend. Do you have any idea who might have killed her? Did she have enemies here? Not that I know of. You know, I'm only here because I have the hots for Cleopatra. Look, I want to help you guys. Why don't you check the room where Nebbit slept with the other favorite slaves? It's true, Matthew. Nebbit was posing as a slave. That means she'd have slept in the slave quarters. We better check them out. Got it. Broken statue. I got it. That's the best feeling when you're playing this game. You get it. Boom, boom, boom. Just like that. So this is where Princess Nefertiti slept while pretending to be a slave girl called Nebbit. Must have been rough for her, sharing a room with Riff Raff. You're right, Matthew. Now that she's sleeping forever, we need to look at those clues. That chest has some hieroglyphs on it. Let me grab the tablet and see if I can translate it. The squiggle is an N, the two hugging arms are E, the foot is a B, N-E-B. Hey, this must be Nebbit's chest. Makes sense that she would get to have some belongings as a personal favorite of Cleopatra. Let's have a dig through Nebbit's stuff and see what we find. And what is that bunch of broken clay? You'll have to piece those together. We haven't found Amon, but solving Nebbit's murder could be crucial to fixing the timeline. So let's get cracking, Matthew. gonna get a few more stars, so sit tight, everybody. Well, it turns out that I reached the recording limit, but that's alright. Just go ahead and do this already. I decided to do the rope. You managed to get a sample of that purple substance from the rope, Matthew. Let's get it to Theo. Got it. What is such a fancy statue doing in the slave quarters? I'll tell you what it's doing here. If you tell me what two of my lump-headed guards are doing among the slaves. Cleopatra, Your Highness, we are humbled before your generosity in this gift of a conversation with you. Please let us speak together. Excuse me. Might be coming down with something, I don't know. I'm glad Cleopatra has no idea who I am because it was Jack who investigated Caesar's murder. We'll just have to hope that she doesn't recognize you in an Egyptian costume. We must address Cleopatra with utmost respect, and we cannot mention anything about Nebbit having been a time traveler. How dare my own guards loiter around the slaves' quarters when my Caesar has just been murdered? He is not the only one, Your Highness. Your slave Nebbit had her heart removed. What? She was supposed to be here cleaning my statue of Isis in the goddess's bird form. I have an offering I must make. And if Nebbit's been murdered, who can I possibly sacrifice to assist Caesar in the realm of the dead? This is a nightmare. Isis will destroy me if she isn't already doing so. Find who killed my favorite slave, you idiots! Those strange Roman soldiers solving Caesar's murder are being more helpful than you are. Yes, Your Highness, we will be sure to find Nebbit's killer. You found a fancy feather fan in Nebbit's belongings, Matthew. What's that symbol on the handle? We'll have to take this fan back to the time machine to understand it. Wabet. Huh. So the symbol on that feather fan means Priestess of Ra? But why did Nebbit have this fan? Does she and the priestess know each other? Well, we'll find this priestess and see if she can help clear up some of this mystery. Children, you have traveled far to see me, this I see. Farther than you can imagine, great priestess. And in our travels, we found your feather fan in the possessions of a young slave called Nebbit. The young slave has now unfortunately passed to the next world, Great Priestess. This is what happens when one offends the gods. Nebbit came to me seeking counsel once, or so I thought. But she lacked respect for me, Takat Wabet. I am the god's messenger, and she stole my ceremonial fan. She stole it? Could this offense have led to her heart being removed, as if in sacrifice? No, it is not the season for human sacrifice, children. Surely you know that. Whatever happened to that poor girl had nothing to do with me. Alright, I'll see you guys when these two are finished. I'll see y'all soon. Okay, we are back. Let's get the results of Nebbit's autopsy. Matthew, I never thought I'd see Nebbit on my slab. I don't know what to think. Yes, and now after everything she did to us, we still need to find her killer to make sure her murder's not changing the timeline. Well, first things first, the blade used to excise Nebbit's heart was very sharp and not serrated. Although frankly, I'm surprised they found anything to remove after how she manipulated us. I'm sure Amy would say the same. Yeah, where is Amy anyway? This is an important investigation, and I haven't seen her since the jump. Oh, I'm sure she's around here somewhere, but in the meantime, I have more information for you. Nebbit was still alive when her heart was removed, hence the ropes used to tie her and keep her from running away. Whoa, that's intense. Who could have that much rage against Nebbit? Did she betray someone else as badly as she betrayed us? Maybe someone was just even angrier at her than we are. Still, keep an eye out for a dagger that would fit the cuts. Another thing, the killer left traces of pomegranate juice on the rope used to bind Nebbit's wrists and ankles. The killer was probably eating some pomegranate prior to the act. So our killer was heartless enough to snack on pomegranate before removing Nebbit's heart? That's cold-blooded. Matthew, with everything that happened, I didn't even have time to properly thank you for saving me. I'm still getting used to having my entire arm back. It's crazy to think I almost faded out of existence because my ancestor had fallen in love with the wrong man. Yes, it's so nice to see you in one piece again. If only we didn't now have to worry about who killed Nebbit. Well, we do, and I have evidence for you. It appears that the killer left traces of lotus essential oil on the rope. In the amounts present in the sample you sent me, the killer didn't use it as perfume, but as medicine. What, like aromatherapy? Exactly. The killer may have been using aromatherapy to stay calm or lower their blood pressure. Well, Matthew, this sweet-smelling killer definitely lowered Nebbit's blood pressure to non-existent, and we need to raise theirs by catching them. Well, Matthew, we came back to 47 BCE to prevent Amon and Nebbit from manipulating the timeline to create the evil Ptolemy regime. But Amon is nowhere to be found, and somebody killed Nebbit before we could arrest her. What went differently this time around? Who did Nebbit anger? That priestess of Ra, Takat Wabet, didn't seem to think much of Nebbit. Meanwhile, Cleopatra chewed us out and wants the murderer found, even though she was planning to sacrifice Nebbit anyway. Caesar's killer Pameau knew about Nebbit's time traveling, but wanted to stay away from her. To think he could have warned us about her the first time. And while we hunt for Nebbit's killer, Amon could be sabotaging our old time machine. We have to find him. Find who, Zara? Wait a minute, what are you doing out of the machine? And why are you dressed like one of Cleopatra's guards? Oh no! Did I wear the wrong costume? I've been talking to everyone involved in Caesar's murder dressed like a Roman guard. Matthew, that's the Jack from the other investigation. guys for Chapter 2. Do not go anywhere. Okay, we are back. Let's start Chapter 2 of Time's Up. Let's see, we last left off... Still so weird to be looking for Amon, even though we saw Ogedai Khan slice his throat just yesterday. But such is the time-traveling life. The older Amon, who went to medieval Asia, may be dead, but his younger version, who hasn't yet sabotaged our time machine, is still alive and well here. All this to say, we need to find him. Wait, okay. Hi Jack, what's up? What do you mean, what's up? I've been investigating Caesar's murder and... I'm sorry, Matthew, but how did you change clothes so fast? You were dressed like a Roman guard like a second ago. Oh, you know how it is. Matthew's just amazing like that. And, Amy's got us working on something special on the side, so we'd better get back to that. See you later. Oh man, Matthew, that was a close call. I can't believe we bumped into the version of Jack from when we were investigating Caesar's murder. Thank goodness it was Jack and not me. Can you imagine the potential timeline damage? Even as it is, I just hope Jack doesn't realize what happened. Don't worry, guys. You know Jack. He'll just think it was something he ate or that he's going senile. Anyway, you can forget about all that because I picked up a signal from a modern device, and it isn't one of ours. A modern device? Here in ancient Egypt? Matthew, that signal could be coming from Amon. All I can say for sure is that the signal is coming from inside a pyramid. I'll get you the coordinates. A modern device inside a pyramid? We need to get to the bottom of this, Matthew. That's a scary thought there with that photo. Look at all these neon lights and futuristic tech. This pyramid is truly mind-blowing. At least this explains why Kai picked up a signal. This is definitely Amon and Nebet's doing. That small pyramid you found has some sort of ancient padlock on it. That means something is hiding inside. Do you think you can open it? And that binder has the time logo on it. It's overflowing with papers. What could this be and why is it here? Something else is written on the bottom of the binder. I'll grab your dusting kit. Got it. 22118. 41248. You opened that little pyramid, Matthew, and it definitely isn't an ancient artifact, not with that biometric security system inside. Shall I do the honors, Matthew? I'll just place my palm on the scanner and... Greetings and salutations. This is a divine message from Goddess Nefertiti to all Ptolemy leaders who will follow in the footsteps of the great Cleopatra. Hear my promise. The Ptolemy dynasty will endure through the ages. We shall rule and prosper for all of history, in Egypt and far beyond. This prophecy shall be fulfilled thanks to me, Goddess Nefertiti, and my faithful servant Amon, and to the willing sacrifice of Cleopatra. Remember us, and the light of Ra will shine upon you and on all of your descendants until the end of time. What on earth, Matthew? Nebet recorded a holographic message promising prosperity for all future Ptolemy rulers if they honor her role in their fortunes. Nebet clearly wanted the future Ptolemies to know they owed their success to her. But what was that about Cleopatra's willing sacrifice? Is that a reference to her death in 10 years' time? Has Nebet told her about it? You're right, Matthew. We need to talk to Cleopatra again. You'd better have some good news for me, you two. Well, Your Highness, we're doing all we can to find Nebet's killer, but we found something very strange in the process. We found a prophecy in a pyramid, a message from your slave, Nebet, except she claimed to be the goddess Nefertiti. You weren't meant to enter that sacred place. The goddess had asked me for a place to leave her prophecy for future generations, and I let her use this pyramid as her temple. So you really believe that she was a goddess? Of course I did. Egyptian royals are appointed by the gods to rule, and it's not unusual for gods to take humble human forms, even that of a slave, to talk to us. Besides, Nebet knew things about my personal life only a god could have known. Why would I doubt her? Naturally, I assumed that I had a part in this plan, that I would become the most powerful ruler and extend my influence over Roman territory. Unfortunately, the prophecy required me to die in a few years' time, even though she wouldn't give me details. Why should I have to sacrifice my life for the dynasty to continue? I am the dynasty. That said, I would have never killed her before the time was right. Profiles. Our team site profiles were in Nebet's hands? No wonder she knew exactly how to play us. Marina will be able to make sense of any notes Nebet may have written in the profiles. Let's get this binder to her. Hours. I'll see you guys when this is done. Okay, we are back. Let's get the results of the folder details from Marina. Hey Matthew, needless to say, I'm upset that Nebet and Amon had a hold of our psych profiles, but it explains a lot. Nebet had compiled notes on everyone at time. She identified Amy as the one she absolutely had to butter up because Amy's the one with a hidden dangerous streak. Amy has a hidden dangerous streak? That's the first time I've ever heard anyone say that. Well, you don't know about Amy's past. Remember how Amy was reluctant to let Nebet join the team for the longest time? Nebet was right. Amy didn't trust her at all. And there's something else I shouldn't reveal, but since it's relevant to your investigation, I will. Amy's been struggling with her anger about Nebet's betrayal for a long time, since Chief Scott's murder. She was hoping none of you guys would notice, but she had real anger management problems. She's been seeing me for therapy about it. Wow, Amy really hid her rage well, but surely she wouldn't go as far as killing Nebet as a result of it. On the other hand, it's true that Amy was nowhere to be found after we landed back in Egypt. I saw her in the break room a little while ago. If you just speak to Amy with Amy directly, Matthew. I'm sure this can all get cleared up. Something tells me she's not the one. Moment, folks. Okay. Let's talk to Amy now. Hi, Amy. In our investigation into Nebet's murder, we found that she had timed psych evaluations in her possession. What? That traitor profiled us? Yeah, and she knew from the start that you were going to be the hardest to convince. I should have been even harder to convince. I should have never believed a word that traitor said. And I'll never forgive her for what she did to us. How she toyed with our trust, killed our chief, destroyed our family's lives in 2029. But now her thirst for power is definitely over, and it's about time, too. I'm sorry, I've been under so much pressure, and I've been trying to hold this back for a while. This may be a bad time to ask this, but I was wondering, did you go out of the time machine at all when we first got here? No, of course not. Even with those tempting pomegranates in Cleopatra's garden, I never left. Why would you even ask that? Oh, nothing. Nothing at all. Matthew, we better go hunt for more clues. Let's do another sweep of the slave quarters. Yep, you see Amy's on the leaderboard, so obviously she's got to be innocent. Matthew, you found a note. It reads, "Thank you for the great idea, Nebet." The paper and the handwriting are very modern looking. That said, we have two suspects from modern times, so we'll have to compare handwriting samples to see who wrote this message. And what's the story with that broken plate? You'll have to piece it back together to see. There's also that laundry hamper. Not thrilled about digging through some funky old laundry, but there might be a clue, you're right. The sooner we catch Nebet's killer, the sooner we can know how our timeline has been affected. Let's do this. Got it. A phone. You found a phone in all that laundry, Matthew. It could be Nebet's. Let's unlock it and see what's on it. One more. Matthew, the unlocked screen of that phone is a selfie of Amon and Nebbit. And the photo was taken during this era. Look, the Sphinx still has a nose. Amon is the one taking the selfie, so the phone has to be his. It's so strange to see Amon again. Ogadai Khan just slit his throat, but now we're back in 47 BCE and Amon's alive. And you're right, he's also preparing to sabotage our time machine. He must be nearby. I can't wait to arrest Amon and put that monster away for all he did to us. Amon Bast, stop right where you are. Sorry, are you talking to me? Enough, Amon. We have your phone. That's a lovely selfie of you and Nebbit, or should we say Nefertiti. What is a selfie? And Nebbit, as in slave girl Nebbit? What has she done? Seriously, great acting, Amon, but we know you and Nefertiti are here to establish the Ptolemy dynasty, and you'll wreck our time machine to do it. No! This can't be happening! How can you know about us and our plan? We don't owe you any explanations. Just know that your plan has already been foiled, at least halfway. Your princess was murdered today. What? She's dead? That's not part of the plan. Tough luck, Amon. You're under arrest. You'll be coming with us to our perfectly functional time machine. Got the cuffs, Matthew? Pamiu's handwriting. So Pamiu wrote that thank you note to... What was the great idea he wanted to thank her for? There's only one way to find out, Matthew. Let's go ask Pamiu ourselves. Hey, partners in time crime, any leads on your friend's murder? Maybe, if you tell us what great idea she gave you, Pamiu. Yeah, right. Her great idea. If only I'd known it would backfire. See, since Nebbit was a time traveler, I told her about my hope to sleep with Cleopatra, right? And once, when I was sneaking a pomegranate in the garden, Nebbit came up to me and said she could help me woo the queen. She had this idea that I should just kill Caesar to get him out of my way. I wasn't sure. I mean, I didn't come here to commit murder, but Nebbit said it would make Cleopatra go crazy for me for sure. So you're the one who killed Caesar on Nebbit's advice? Yes, and Nebbit was wrong. It didn't work. Cleopatra is still weeping and wailing. And then these Roman soldiers started investigating, and I think they're onto me. I wish I had my aromatherapy kit with me. I'm freaking out. I may get fed to the crocodile in the Queen's garden, and it's all Nebbit's fault. I wish I could go back in time and kill her? Watch your words, Pamiu. We know just what you're capable of. Matthew, I really wish we could just arrest Pamiu for Caesar's murder ourselves. But doing that could disrupt the timeline, I know. It's important to let our former selves handle that investigation. Either way, we know he was eventually caught and sent back to the Time headquarters, so justice was served. Well, you pieced together that plate, Matthew, and it's covered in hieroglyphics. Ugh, this'll take me hours to search in the tablet. Oh wait, you're right, Matthew. Penelope isn't off with the ancient Egyptian Mongolian military anymore. Let's take this plate to her. I'll see you guys when this is done. See y'all soon. Okay, we have returned. Let's get the results of the plate message. Matthew, is it true? Amy's a suspect in Nebbit's murder? I mean, I can completely understand how angry she felt when Nebbit betrayed us. We all felt that way. But Amy wouldn't commit murder. I just can't believe it for 1 second. Neither do I. The evidence is sure to prove that Amy had nothing to do with any of it. But speaking of evidence, what about that plate Matthew pieced together? Oh yeah, that plate was quite a find. Someone wrote a threat to Nebbit on it in hieroglyphics. The message reads, "I will rip your heart out for what you did." Well, that's a threat for sure. Safe to say the killer wrote those hieroglyphics, which means they're fluent in the language. Well, we're in ancient Egypt. The killer knowing hieroglyphics doesn't exactly narrow things down. But we'll stay on their trail no matter what, right, Matthew? Absolutely. Matthew, I feel like we're treading water with this investigation. It turns out that Cleopatra was in on Nebbit's plan to gain the Ptolemies' eternal power. But the Queen was not thrilled about learning of her impending death, so does she really agree with Nebbit's scheme? Then there's Amy. She hid her rage against Nebbit from the team, but she really struggled with it. Could she have taken revenge? At least she found Amon, arrested him, and placed him in custody in the time machine. About Amon. Yeah, honey, what about Amon? He's not in his cell anymore. Amon's escaped. Oh no. We'll see you guys for Chapter 3, where we will hopefully get Amon back. And we return. Let's see if we can get Amon back in Chapter 3. This was where we last left off on. Escaped? But how? You're right, Matthew. No time to solve that mystery. We need to go find him. Amon would have had to go through the Queen's garden to get away. Let's start our search there. Oh, we're going back to here again. A different change of pace. Oh, he's dead. Oh no. Another autopsy. Okay. Whoa, Matthew. This is Amon's body. He's dead. But how did this happen? Did someone attack him after he'd escaped his cell? Or was he killed in our time machine, then dragged out here? Kai didn't report any disturbances on board the time machine, so that's a dead end. But you're right, Matthew. His heart was removed from his chest in exactly the same way as Nebbit's was. So same modus operandi. It has to be the same killer. But who? We'll have to get Amon's body to Janice for an autopsy to find out more. Our nemeses are dead now, but we have no idea how this may have affected the timeline. Good point, Matthew. Well, we know Nebbit and Amon both used that secret pyramid. I bet we'll find more clues there. Let's go. Oh, good. Only 9 hours for the autopsy this time. Wow. I can't believe we're going through this again. Well, Matthew, finding a tablet in this pyramid full of modern gadgets seems logical. But the screen is smashed. I doubt Nebbit or Amon would break their own tablet, so who left this weird orange stuff all over it? If someone discovered Nebbit's secret pyramid, someone who wasn't supposed to know about it, we could have a fresh lead for both murders with this tablet. Let's get collecting. No, the other two crime scenes aren't available yet. I thought for sure that we'd be going to the next one. Okay. First I thought I might have gone wrong somewhere, but everything seems to be in order. Got it. Dried chunks. Now that we have a sample, I think it's time to get those dried chunks you collected from the tablet under the microscope. I don't know, something doesn't look right. But I don't think so. Or maybe not. I mean, I'm going by the case in its order. Myrrh incense. Matthew, those chunks are dried myrrh, as in the incense kind of myrrh. Incense? Who on the suspect list would need this much myrrh for incense? You're right, Matthew. Myrrh is used as incense for religious purposes throughout the world. Takat Wabet probably uses it too. Let's go ask her about this incense. Oh, great priestess of Ra, we have so many questions. As do we all, children. What do you wish to know? We found proof that you entered a sacred pyramid that Cleopatra alone was meant to visit. You left myrrh everywhere. Well, sometimes I use myrrh, amongst other plant oils, for medicinal reasons, along with a diet heavy in pomegranates, of course. But in this case, I spilled that myrrh all over the inside of that bizarre pyramid from shock. I had followed Nebet inside, and what did I see? Unnatural lights everywhere, strange contraptions that talked on their own, and Nebet using a strange object to speak with demons from the underworld. It was bad enough when Nebet and that guard were writing in hieroglyphs. Only the queen and I, Takat Wabet, should be allowed to. But there she was, conniving with demons. I hid until she was gone. Then I went to inspect the object, but I dropped it in fright when it began to glow. But I swear to you, that object holds an evil inside of it, and only someone evil could have harnessed its power. Okay, it seems like we went in a complete loop. So, I'm almost at 10 minutes, so here's what I'm going to do. Take a quick break here, and I'll tell you what I'm going to do afterwards. Well, I did say I would do something about it, so here we go. I'm going to speed this up. It's not an error or anything, so let's get the results now. Matthew, I'll admit, even I was a little tripped out to see Amon on my slab. First he died by Ogadai Khan's hand, now this heart removal. I can't help but think he had it coming, after everything he did. Yes, after the betrayal and endangerment, seeing Nebet and Amon dead almost feels like poetic justice, but we'll still feel better once their killer is behind bars. Well, Matthew was right. The murder was identical to Nebet's, right down to the murder weapon. But as for leads, I have bad news and good news. Which one do you want first? Let's hear the bad news first, I guess. Bad news is that there isn't a shred of evidence on the body. You weren't kidding about the bad news. Well, don't forget, I have good news too. I checked the security camera for Amon's cell. I queued the footage to just before Amon's murder. This is so weird, Matthew. It'll be like interrogating him for the last time. Let's have a look. Moment, folks. Okay, I guess it was a false alarm. Oh, it's you. Wait, you've come to save me, right? Right? You're gonna get me out of here, aren't you? No! No! Put that dagger away! No! This train just keeps on giving. So Amon was murdered while in our custody inside the time machine, but how? Who? Of all the suspects, Amy's the only one with access to the time machine. Well, in that case, this is ludicrous. Come on, Matthew, let's go speak with Amy. She'll have an explanation. I just know deep down that she's not responsible. She's on the leaderboard, so that should mean that, you know, she's innocent. Well, this is the one that's gonna... This might be the one that breaks our hearts. What are you two doing here, Matthew? You need to be out finding Nebbit's killer. Not only Nebbit's killer, Amon's been murdered too, Amy. What? How could Amon be killed? He was safe in the time machine. Well, that's what we're wondering about too. Among our suspects, only one person has access to our time machine. And that's you. Me? Surely you don't think that you killed both Nebbit and Amon? No, we don't want to think it. But you need to help us understand what happened. Oh, I've been a total idiot, Matthew. I was very upset after you first interrogated me. I tried to calm down with my essential oils, then I thought some fresh air might help. I thought maybe reading the hieroglyphs on the pyramids would give me some clarity, but instead, I lost my badge. Amon's killer must have found it and entered the time machine. I can't believe it. The stakes are so high and here I am making rookie mistakes. Amy, only you and Pamu would have known what to do with such a badge. And I really hope the evidence won't be pointing at you. This is not good. This is so not good. Matthew, I cannot believe what is happening. We were simply supposed to hop back to 47 BCE, arrest Nebbit and Amon, and prevent their evil scheme of installing the Ptolemy dynasty. Instead, the minute we left the time machine, we found Nebbit with her heart removed. And now Amon's dead too, and they were clearly killed by the same person. Who could have done this? Is someone else trying to prevent the disruption of the timeline? Or were the murders some sort of rage-blind revenge? If it's revenge, Amy is the obvious suspect. She had both motive and opportunity, and we can't ignore that Amon was killed in our own time machine. But Amy claims she's innocent, and if she lost her badge like she says, anyone could have snuck on board the time machine. Like that priestess, who also discovered Nebbit's secret pyramid. She thought Nebbit was the devil, and what about... Hey, what's that splashing sound? Look out, Matthew, that crocodile is coming right for us. Wait, is it choking on something? What on earth just happened to this crocodile? What could it have choked on? You're right, Matthew, that crocodile might have choked on a clue. It fell back into the garden pond. There's the new crime scene. Okay. There we go. Computer's moving a little slow, so I'm not sure if I'm gonna get the... No. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, I will get the first star. Nice. And you see in 11th, Amy is on the leaderboard. So that should mean she's innocent. At least I hope so. Wow, Matthew, now we have a dead crocodile on our hands. What are we supposed to do with this thing? You're right. That croc clearly choked on something and seems to have thrown up right as he died. Whatever he choked on could be among those bits. Ugh. We better search through them. And oh my goodness, you found a human heart. You're right. It could be Nebbit's or Amon's. Either way, we'll need a sample of that black gunk from it. So on one hand, we have crocodile puke, and on the other hand, some black gunk on a human heart. Great. Right, I know. We need to stay focused and figure out who killed Nebbit and Amon. Let's get to work, Matthew. Moment, folks. Well, I had to start a new 10 minutes of film because I was down to 2 seconds. A dagger. Right? There was a dagger in the crocodile's vomit. That explains why he choked and died. And this does seem to be some kind of fancy dagger. like the one Janice said killed both Nebbit and Amon. The killer probably tossed it into the crocodile pond, hoping to be rid of the evidence. We need to get this dagger to Janice. Matthew, you got a sample of that black substance from the heart. Let's get it to Theo as soon as possible. Hey, this is 15 hours. But there's still one more crime scene to go, oddly enough. Huh. Well, we'll just go with it as it is. We'll just roll with the punches. I'll see you guys when these two are done. Okay, we are set. Let's get the results of the dagger. Let's put a killer behind bars. Still got one more crime scene to go. Janice, was there anything on the dagger Matthew found on that crocodile? Well, the blood was the crocodile's, but I compared it to the incision marks in the chest cavities of both Nebbit and Amon. And I can confirm that this dagger was the murder weapon. Excellent. So did you find anything else on it? Well, you were lucky that the dagger was spared from the crocodile's fearsome stomach acid. Some DNA was left on the dagger handle, and Theo just sent me the results. He said the preliminary DNA report from the dagger showed that the killer is female. A female killer? That means Amy is still a suspect, but evidence is evidence. Let's note it down. I hope it's not Amy. And the black substance will tell all. Hey Matthew, that sample you collected from the heart was a bit of a puzzle, but I got it figured out. First off, I can tell you from the blood mixed in with the sample that the heart you found it on was Nebbit's. Not that it matters, since we know the same person killed both Nebbit and Amon. So what was the substance, Theo? I can't stand the suspense. Well, it was a substance made from black galena, a preparation for the makeup known as kohl. You mean that thick black eyeliner that all the ancient Egyptians wear? That's the stuff, and the killer left a lot of kohl all over Nebbit's heart. So we know that the killer wore kohl eyeliner. That narrows down the suspect pool. This is it, Matthew. After all we've been through, the moment of truth has come. The fate of the timeline depends on this arrest. Let's go. Okay, I'm pretty sure it's not Amy. My prayer was answered. Wait a minute. Actually, I need a minute, folks. Okay, just taking my time here. The four of them I know. This one I don't. Is it? Yes, it is Takat Wabet. Whew, my prayer has just been answered. Takat Wabet, you killed Nebet and Amon, but why? How? Ah, so you figured it all out. I should have known. Wait, are you? You're fading. Matthew, the priestess is fading just like Theo did. What is going on here? Who are you, Takat Wabet? Don't you understand? I'm Nebet, a bit older than when you knew me. I admit, I've come from the year 2060. You're Nebet? Old Nebet? So you're fading because your younger version is dead? Which means she never got old and you can't exist. But if you're Nebet, why would you kill yourself? And why would you kill Amon? He was your accomplice. Because they wouldn't listen to reason. Matthew, do you remember how my mother exiled me from New Cairo in 2029? Of course we do. Justice was served for you killing your father. I killed my father because I couldn't bear to see what he'd done, what he'd become. And the long years I spent in exile just convinced me even more that I was right. I should have killed my mother too and rid the world of the Ptolemies once and for all. I realize you've been right all along, Matthew. The drive for power has turned my whole family into heartless tyrants. That wasn't what I wanted when I set out to change history for them. In my exile, I also realized the only time I was happy was when I was fighting for justice by your side. I realize I've been wrong all along. So what? You decided to go back in time and give your younger self a stern talking to? Yes, but my younger self wouldn't listen. I used to be so selfish, such delusions of entitlement. And Amon wasn't any better. It was clear. The only way I could save the timeline from the Ptolemies was to kill them both. How did you even enter our time machine to kill Amon in his cell? I spotted Amy in the gardens, then I saw her drop her access badge. It had been a very long time, but I still remembered the layout of the machine like the back of my hand. I went to see Amon in his cell. The fool thought I was here to save him, but I cut out his heart, just like I had done to my younger self. But if you did this to save the timeline, why did you deny both murders when you knew we were investigating? You could have told us it was you. I couldn't bear to be a disappointment to you once again, Matthew. I knew you wouldn't approve of my methods. I hoped I wouldn't fade away before you caught up to me. But I can tell my time has come. I have many regrets, Matthew, but meeting you is not one of them. I hope what I did has salvaged your timeline. Please forgive me for everything else. Goodbye, Matthew. Nebet! Matthew, she's gone, just like she never existed. I can't wrap my mind around this. She killed herself to save us. Matthew, I think I need some time to digest all of this. I'm sorry. Let's meet back in the time machine, alright? Matthew, is it true? Nebet killed herself? Yes, the older version of Nebet, from the future. She returned to 47 BCE to murder her younger self. She says she wanted to prevent her own plan for a Ptolemy dynasty from ever happening. That's why she also killed Amon. I don't even know how to react to this. I guess Nebet never shied away from radical solutions. It's just like her to travel back in time to kill both herself and her accomplice. The weirdest thing was seeing her fade out from existence, when I think this is what could have happened to Theo. At least this means you don't have to worry about her time machine, since she never existed. She never came here, and her time machine will have vanished with her. But what does this mean for the timeline? Is it fixed? There's only one way to find out, Matthew. We'll have to get back to New York City in 2029 and check for ourselves. But first, we'll need to rid 47 BCE of any trace of all those time travelers. We still have work to do, Matthew. And we'll see you guys to Home for Home Sweet Home after this. And we've returned. It's time to start Home Sweet Home and get us back to the present. So let me get this straight, Matthew. A 60-year-old Nebbit from 2060 returned to 47 BCE to stop her younger self from hatching the Ptolemy dynasty plot. And because she killed her younger self, that means her older self couldn't have existed, so she faded from existence? Aren't time paradoxes fascinating, Matthew? The most important thing is that both Amon and Nebbit died before they ever had a chance to sabotage our time machine and change the timeline. So does that mean we've won? Well, yes and no. With Nebbit and Amon gone, there will be no one to change history in the Ptolemies' favor. But we cannot head back to 2029 yet. Amon and Nebbit may be dead, but the traces of their visit here are still around. From the gadgets in that pyramid to the knowledge they imparted to Cleopatra. Until all traces of their presence, and ours, are gone, we cannot be sure we will come back to the present we first left. Ugh, more work then. Oh, and what about Pamiu? Pamiu's not a problem. By now, our former selves have already arrested him for Caesar's murder and sent him back to 2029 in his own time machine. But Orlando, what about our former selves? The science is complicated, but the diverging timelines are going to collapse into one, and our other selves will just merge with us. Oh, so what you're saying is, our former selves are going to just be absorbed into our present selves? Are we going to notice it? Does it hurt? Nope, don't worry, Jack. You won't feel a thing. The merging of the timelines won't even dehydrate your skin. It just means you don't need to worry about our other selves and their time machine anymore. So, Nebbit disappeared, as did her time machine. That means you have to get rid of Amon's time machine, of that crazy pyramid, and of Cleopatra's memories. Don't worry, I have a plan for that. Rig Amon's time machine to destroy Nebbit's pyramid. We stone two birds in a bush, as Chief Scott would say. Great, but how do you intend to find Amon's time machine? It's cloaked, just like ours. Since Amon and Nebbit use the pyramid as their secret base, chances are we'll find what we need to track down Amon's time machine there. Great, honey. Great, honey, you do that. But what about Cleopatra? She saw things that she was not supposed to see. What we need to do is just wipe her memory clean, and I know exactly how we can do that. There's a particular fungus that grew in ancient Egypt. If you can find it in Cleopatra's garden, I can prepare a drought to erase the past few days from the Queen's memory. Great, we have a plan. I'll go to the pyramid with Matthew to look for signs of Amon's time machine. And I'll meet you at the Queen's garden. Let's do this. Okay, let's see what we can do. Excuse me. Whoa, Matthew. This place is a total trip. You told me all about the futuristic stuff in here, but I never could have imagined this. Surely among all these gadgets we'll find something that'll lead us to Amon's time machine. Ha, good catch. That scarab's got a little touch screen. I bet you it's a tiny safe. I've seen those before. Let's crack that password. That scarab is hiding an access badge, Matthew. I guess Amon kept it here for safekeeping. Let's get the badge to Kai and see if we can use it to track down Amon's time machine. Ooh. Manure. Oh, God. Oh. Fire pit, fire pit. Where the heck's that fire pit? Oh, there. There we are. Matthew, the only fungus I see are those mushroom thingies coming out of that manure. I'll just let you get a sample of that fungus. I'll go and smell some jasmine or something. Great, thanks a lot. Looks like you got a sample of that fungus, Matthew. Let's get it to Theo so he can make a memory wiping, so he can make that memory wiping drought. And that's 9 hours. Looks like I'll have to get the next crime scene afterwards. So I'll see you guys when these two are finished. Alright folks, we returned. Kind of fighting a little bit of a chest cold, but we're getting it. Matthew, we did it! Thanks to Amon's access badge, I've located his time machine. Apparently the machine is cloaked near the market space of a rug seller you met the first time we were here. Rug seller guy? Oh yeah, Yuya. He was a suspect in the murder of Julius Caesar, but turned out to be a pretty decent guy. Do you think you might be able to make him move his stall? I can't move Amon's time machine to the pyramid if he's standing there. Problem is, Yuya's seen me as a Roman soldier before. Don't worry, I'll go talk to Yuya with Matthew. Let's go. You there, rug merchant? Yes, ma'am. How can I help you? Are you looking for anything special today? I have a new rug that will really tie your sleeping quarters together. It's lovely, but we are here on the orders of Cleopatra herself. You must leave this space at once. But I have a permit to be in this spot. Well, the queen wants you to move your stall closer to the palace so that she can buy even more rugs from you. She loves them. What? Oh, well then, yes, of course, I'll move at once. But first, I must express my gratitude to you for passing on the Queen's message to me. Well, Yuya sure cleared out of the market quickly. You'd think there was a crocodile chasing him or something. Thanks for the help, Matthew. Now I'm going to jump Amon's time machine to the interior of the pyramid. That's good, but simply putting the time machine inside the pyramid won't destroy anything. No, but a good old-fashioned explosion will. I'm going to fill Amon's time machine with every explosive we have. Oh, great. You do that, then. Let's meet up later in our own time machine when you're done setting things up. Now let's go ahead and speed up the fungus for 3. Ha! Matthew, you did it again! You found the exact fungus I was thinking of. I just wish you'd warned us that it would be growing out of a pile of Where else would it grow, honey? Anyway, I dried some of the fungus in my hyper desiccator, then pulverized it into a fine powder. You need to get an audience with Cleopatra and slip this powder into her beverage. I still don't get how this powder is going to make her forget all about Nebbit and the Ptolemies. Well, friends, that's where I come in. Theo's powder is a mild psychedelic that will leave the queen dazed and open to suggestion. I will come along with you and pretend to be a soothsayer and offer to read Cleopatra's future. Once Theo's powder has made her susceptible, I will hypnotize her and remove any memory of Nebbit or her prophecy from her mind. That sounds great. There's not a minute to waste. Let's go, Matthew. Let's hypnotize her. Excuse me. Your Highness, we have brought you a famous soothsayer. She will read your future. Oh, and not a moment too soon. There has been far too much death near me lately. Please tell me I even have a future. I will, but I can only read your future in the leaves of this special tea I brewed for you. Fine, tea sounds good right now. I need to calm my nerves. What the? Huh? Everything is melting. Soothsayer, your teeth are so wavy. Now wash the golden spoon and concentrate on my voice, Your Highness. You must forget all about the goddess Nefertiti. She never came here. You never had a slave called Nebbit. Your favorite slave is and always has been Mene. Goddess never came. Favorite slave, Mene. You feel confident about your future. You will rule Egypt for many years. Caesar may be dead, but you will find another lover soon. Confident. Another lover. Now, Your Highness, I will snap my fingers and you will be wide awake. What just happened? Your Highness, you passed out. Let me take your pulse. Do not worry, such a weakness is easily explained by today's tragic events. The many deceased do leave a mark. Many? Caesar was a great man, but he still only counted for one soothsayer. Now send for many. I need my slave. Your Highness, my vision is complete. It appears that all your troubles are now behind you. Your immediate future is clear and love awaits. I think it does. I'm feeling cute. I don't know. I might send an emissary to Mark Antony later. Thank you, soothsayer. Matthew, it works. Cleopatra doesn't remember a thing about Nebbit. Let's get back to the time machine, but first I need a snack. Hypnotizing ancient royals really works up an appetite. So guys, did everything go alright? Well, I'm happy to say that we managed to clear Cleopatra's mind of Nebbit and any potential effects of her prophecy. Meanwhile, Amon's time machine is inside Nebbit's pyramid, packed to the brim with explosives. But don't worry, I rigged everything to make the pyramid implode. Nothing will explode outwards, and anything inside will be incinerated. The only thing that remains to be done is to activate the explosion by remote control. Matthew, would you care to do the honors? We'll watch via the tablet. 3, 2, 1, and down she goes. Wow, it's like nothing was ever there. Let me check my tablet for modern signals. There are no readings of modern technology in that quadrant. Yes, we did it! Matthew, we need to go tell Amy everything's good. Amy, we've done it! Nebbit's secret pyramid was destroyed. Excellent news, Matthew. And Amon's time machine is gone in the demolition, too. And as for Cleopatra, she doesn't remember anything about Nebbit or a goddess Nefertiti. Her history is back on track. Well done, but what about us? Orlando have our current and past timelines merged into one? Yes, I'm happy to report complete reintegration of our time streams. In layman's terms, this means our former selves have merged with our current selves. See, Jack, I promised it wouldn't hurt. Good. Then there's only one thing left to do. Time to head back home to New York City 2029. Matthew, I'm so nervous about this. How many times did we think we were going home, only to find ourselves stranded in the wrong time period? I know it's scary, but we've done everything right. We'll just have to trust that we'll get home this time. Deep breath. Here goes nothing. Jump in 5, 4, 3, 2. Whoosh. The final time. This should be it. All readings indicate that we're back home. Matthew, Jack, would you mind taking a look outside to check? I don't think I can handle the disappointment if... You got it, Amy. Let's go make sure we're in New York and not New Cairo, Matthew. Oh man, I think I'm coming down with something. Sorry guys, ran out of film time. If I could get over this cold. Broken plastic. Hey, this is like the crime scene from last time. Can't remember the case. Okay, well, there's no giant pyramid. That's already a relief. And I can't see any Ptolemy banners or resistance tags. I still feel better if we could be absolutely sure this is 2029 New York, Matthew. Oh, you found a broken souvenir. Let's piece it back together. This should help figure out which 2029 this is. I better get a few stars just to be on the safe side. Hold tight, everybody. Okay, let's do this. That's the Statue of Liberty. Got it. Those chunks of broken plastic were a little Statue of Liberty. We're home, Matthew. We're finally home. I can't believe we're back in the proper present. You're right. We need to tell Amy and the others. Yo, Amy! So, how is the outside? Are the Ptolemies still ruling? Not a Ptolemy in sight. Everything is as it should be. We're back in New York. Oh, this is the best news ever. We need to tell everyone. We need to tell Chief Scott. Oh my God, Chief Scott. He'll be alive again. He'll be fine. You don't look as thrilled as I thought you would be. You don't understand. If we're back in the proper 2029 and Chief Scott is alive, then I'm almost late for my mission report. We need to get to time, now. Amy, I've been looking all over for you guys. Chief Scott, oh, I'm so glad to see you. Nice to see you too, Amy. What's going on? Oh, we have so many things to tell you. There's months to catch up on. Months? But you've only been gone a day. Oh, right. Well, never mind. I'm ready to debrief you about our mission in ancient Egypt. Let's go to your office. Matthew, of course we fixed the timeline so we were never stranded in time. For time, we've just been on a routine mission. For now, let's just brief Chief Scott as we normally would. We can give him a full report later. Moment, folks. Okay, I got the final star. Now let's debrief Chief Scott. So Amy, how did things go in ancient Egypt? Well, we figured out who killed Caesar. Turned out to be Benjamin Milo from the history department. Yes, he and his time machine made it back here earlier. It's crazy, isn't it? He got so obsessed with Cleopatra he killed Caesar to sleep with her. Anyway, he will be dealt with in good time. The judge may even give him 25 years. And how about things in 2029? Is everything alright? Of course not. Everything's going to hell in a hand grenade. Oh no, what happened? What's wrong? Everything. They just got rid of all the karaoke chips in the vending machines. They were my favorites. They were my favorite. Oh well, at least that pesky disturbance in the timeline is well and truly fixed. All the readings are clear. Matthew, you did an outstanding job on your first investigation, but you'll see soon enough that all missions aren't as simple. Yes, there's plenty more for you to learn. Oh, I think Matthew knows a lot already. Trust me, Chief. Either way, here's a token of my gratitude. Now we should all go get some rest. We deserve it. Alright, Astro. Oh, Matthew, it feels so good to be back to our normal timeline. Yeah, Kai's idea to celebrate with a barbecue was right on the money. I'm so relieved that we don't have to stop a war between ancient Mongols and the Song dynasty right now. Or how about being shipwrecked in the age of sail? That was the toughest. Oh, excuse me, toughest for whom? I don't remember you turning all blue and scaly like I did. Thank you very much. But there were fun parts. I vaguely remember getting raging drunk in the Renaissance, or making sure the moon landing happened. Yeah, and meeting Leonardo da Vinci. What a great guy. And running off with the Musketeer. I'll never forget Alexander. Never. Well, now that we're back in the right version of 2029, I'm looking forward to spending quality time with my grandkids. And I can finally introduce Kai and Zara to my parents. We're going to all have dinner at my mansion. We are? I wish my memories were as joyful. Sirius is no longer with me in the timeline, but I'll come to terms with that. If you ever want to talk to me about it, you know my door is always open. Oh hey, I just got an email from the marketing department. They want me to be on the Time recruiting posters. Something about my mature features inspiring confidence. I guess it pays to be so vain, Jack. Well, my future is at Time too, but not as a poster girl. I'll be keeping history, past, and future safe from time criminals. How about you, Matthew? What are you going to do? Matthew is always on the lookout for new adventures. I wouldn't be surprised if you decided to go hunt ghosts and werewolves next. Oh, come on, Kai. That's crazy. Matthew, thank goodness you came along with us. Otherwise, I don't know how we could have managed to get everything back in order. And to think no one on Earth even knows. Nobody had the faintest memory of the Ptolemy regime. And we can never tell anyone except Chief Scott. We're unsung heroes, Matthew, and we'll have to stay that way. Not necessarily. I am going to write a novel about our adventures. Even if everyone else thinks it's fiction, we'll know the truth, right, Matthew? Oh, so no kiss at the end. Oh well. So that's it. We're going to move on to a new city. Supernatural Investigations. That'll probably be on a Thursday. So now for the final time. And 3 new ones. Okay, 15 new stickers total. Okay. Sorry guys, had to move to a new 10 minutes of film time. There we go. Okay. case is over. And we'll see you guys for case 1 of Supernatural Investigations. So I'll see you all soon. For now, this is Matthew. Thank you for watching Travel in Time.